I got a ticket and I'm on the plane,
Yeah.
and we went through Dubai and then to Germany. And then when I got to Germany, I got on a train to Amsterdam because my brother
Mm.
was living here. And for me, this was when I realized I couldn't go to the States, my next best option was the Netherlands.
Yeah.
But I get here and I'm like, this is it. I've arrived and could just go find a university, apply to just study and get a job. And then he's like, no, it doesn't work like that. You're here on a short stay visa. Basically, with your visa, you only arrived. If you want to leave here, your visa is for 2 weeks. If you choose to overstay your visa, then you need to have to be integrated into the system to apply for
Yeah.
asylum. And I'm like, asylum? What is that? And I was in school, and basically, I mean, I was educated, but I just didn't know like these whole things. So he explains the whole thing to me. Yeah, you have to apply to be integrated into the Dutch culture to be as a refugee. I'm like, a refugee? I'm not a refugee. They're like,
Well, yeah, you can't just move over to Holland. You
yeah,
can't just move there.
yeah.
But you didn't know that at the
No, I
time.
didn't. I didn't.
Oh,
And I'm like, how come nobody told me this?
yeah.
I'm like, maybe they actually tried to tell me, but I couldn't listen.
Yeah.
Maybe they tried to tell me, and I just my ears were just black deaf to it. And then
Mm.
I started to reflect on my dad's situation at that point to realize why he went for so long and he was not able to come back. And that's when I start to piece the things together to understand, okay, there was all of these things. And I'm like, okay, I'm here now. And so I make up a story that I'm a refugee, I cannot go back to Uganda, and I go to the immigration police
Mm.
and I say I need help, and so I just got rid of my passport at that point because
You
I
got rid
realized,
of it.
yeah,
Oh, I see, because you're coming as an asylum. Yeah, but you wouldn't have been allowed on the plane, though.
no, I have already reached in the Netherlands now
Yeah, but why get rid of your passport?
because if they have my passport, then they have reason to take me back where I'm coming from.
Oh, oh,
So for me, the thing was, I when I got here and I realized I wanted to stay here,
yeah.
in my mind, I thought the first thing I have to do, because once I
Mm.
realized that the passport I have is useless unless I want to go back to Uganda,
Mm.
I was like, I don't need this right now.
So that's quite clever. if you want to move to a country, so just sort out your visa and then lose your passport when you're there.
It's a,
Right.
I mean, I was like, what am I doing? But so I went and told the
But you knew what you were
immigration.
doing. Come on, you're an intellectual guy. Your dad is a clever guy. I mean, he ran his own coffee planter. You're not stupid. I mean, you
E-
definitely you knew
Exactly.
what you were doing.
I later I realized, okay, that this is how it's playing out. But
Yeah.
honestly speaking, getting to the Netherlands for me, I was like, okay, I arrive and settle and everything is all right.
Mm.
Yep. I start to work, but then I realized the papers I have are useless because if I need to stay here, I need to have legal recognition as a resident
Yeah.
here. And once I realized that that's what I needed, I thought up in my mind, okay, then the wise thing to do is get rid of this.
Mm.
And then I went to the police and they said, okay, then the only way we can help you is send you to the asylum seeker center. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is going to take 2 weeks max, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month. I get there and I'm at the reception center for 2 weeks. I haven't spoken to anyone, haven't. had an interview.
But you were staying
Uh,
with your brother.
no. So when I arrived, I stayed with my brother for a couple of days, and then I went to the asylum seeker center.
Mm.
My brother, I couldn't stay with my brother because he was also in his own procedure at the time. I'm waiting there for 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks, they send me to a waiting center, and I wait there for
Yeah.
3 months. I've still not had an interview. I've not spoken to anyone.
Do you sleep on the floor or where do you sleep? Like, what is.
So the reception center, it's they give you, uh, you have a bed, you have, they give you meals, you have 3 square meals a day. You get, uh,
Do you have your own room?
no, you share. There was a shared
Yeah.
arrangement, sort of like
Okay.
a dormitory.
Yeah.
There was 6 beds in it, and so there's people from all over the world, all over all
Mm-hmm.
sorts of backgrounds.
Mm.
And when I'm there, so I'm like, okay, when I realize this is going to take more than a month, I'm like, what have I got myself into? What have I got myself into? And looking, so when they take me, and it's 3 months later, they send me a letter to go for my first interview.
Yeah.
And during the first interview, it lasted about 8 hours. And they were just asking me all sorts of questions. And I just made up a story because I realized if I tell them the truth, it's just not going to work to my advantage. I made up a story, I lied. And it's not something I'm proud of, but that's just what happened. And
So, what
so
was the
they,
story?
so I said, yes, I was at university. I was involved in activities that were with an opposition political party, and because of that, I couldn't live in Uganda because I felt my life was threatened, and I just wanted to be away and to be safe. And they were like, "Yeah, okay,
Meanwhile, you were this spoiled boy taking your dad's $400 and drinking it up and partying and.
exactly." Uh,
Yeah.
so I, so they start asking me all these questions during the interview. They're like, "Okay, so you said this here, and then now you're telling us this. So which is it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have a headache."
Mm.
Because I just got myself locked in a web of lies. And for me, I realized if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything because the
Yes, of
truth is the
course.
truth.